This house was a complete nightmare. We found a family of raccoons living in the attic, wiring from the 1950s that could have sparked a fire any minute, and mold that looked like it had its own zip code. But was it still profitable? I'm revealing every single dollar I spent, and the final profit number will absolutely shock you. Let me take you back to the moment I saw the listing. It was buried deep in a real estate app, with one blurry photo and a price tag that made me do a double take. $25,000. That's not a typo. A whole house, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, sitting on a quarter-acre lot for less than the cost of a new car. Of course, there was a catch. The listing agent described it as a fixer-upper with potential, which is code for bring gloves, a flashlight, and possibly a priest. But I was intrigued. I've flipped a few houses before, and I love a challenge. So I scheduled a showing. When I arrived, the place looked like it had been abandoned since the Cold War. The front door was barely hanging on, the windows were boarded up, and the yard was a jungle. Inside? Well, let's just say I've seen horror movies with cleaner kitchens. But I saw potential. Beneath the grime and chaos, the bones were solid. The layout was functional. And the neighborhood? Quiet, with rising property values. I made an offer that day. The nightmare begins. Before shots and first impressions, let me paint you a picture of what I walked into. The living room had shag carpet that looked like it hadn't been vacuumed since the 80s. The walls were stained with water damage, and the ceiling had a hole the size of a basketball. The kitchen was a time capsule. Yellow linoleum floors, avocado green cabinets, and a fridge that smelled like something died inside it. Twice. The bathroom was worse. Mold covered the tiles, the toilet was cracked, and the sink was hanging off the wall. One of the bedrooms had graffiti on the walls. Another had a mattress on the floor and a pile of fast food wrappers. The third? Empty, except for a broken ceiling fan and a raccoon nest in the closet. Yes, raccoons. A whole family. I found out later they'd been living there for months, coming and going through a hole in the roof. The backyard was overgrown, with a rusted swing set and a shed that looked like it might collapse if you sneezed near it. The fence was broken, and there was a mysterious pile of bricks in the corner. It was ugly. No doubt about it. But I wasn't scared. I was excited. The purchase and initial budget. I bought the house for $25,000 cash. No mortgage, no financing, just a wire transfer and a signature. That gave me flexibility. I didn't have to worry about monthly payments or interest, but I did have to worry about everything else. My initial renovation budget was $50,000. That was based on a rough estimate. $10,000 for the kitchen, $7,000 for the bathroom, $15,000 for flooring, paint, and drywall, and the rest for labor and permits. I figured I could flip the house in 3 months and sell it for around $100,000. That would give me a tidy profit, even after closing costs and taxes. Spoiler alert, I was wrong. 4. The big discovery: raccoons, mold, and electrical chaos. Word count, approximately 1,200. The first week of demolition was when things got real. We started by ripping out the carpet and cabinets. That's when we found the mold. Not just a little mold, black mold. It was behind the kitchen walls, under the bathroom tiles, and in the attic. We had to bring in a specialist to test it. The verdict? Toxic. It had to go. Cost, $4,800 for mold remediation. Then came the raccoons. We knew they'd been living in the attic, but we didn't realize how bad it was. They'd chewed through insulation, wiring, and even some of the wooden beams. We had to evict them humanely, seal the roof, and replace the damaged materials. Cost, $3,200 for pest control and attic repair. And then, oh boy, the electrical system. The house still had knob and tube wiring. That's ancient. Dangerous. A fire hazard. We had to rip it all out and install a modern system. Cost, $6,500 for full electrical replacement. At this point, my budget was already in trouble. But I couldn't stop. I was committed. Expense breakdown, every dollar spent. Here's the full breakdown of what I spent. Materials: drywall and paint, $3,200. Flooring, laminate plus tile, $4,500. Kitchen cabinets and countertops, $6,800. Bathroom fixtures, $2,100. Lighting and electrical supplies, $1,700. Doors and windows, $3,600. Roofing materials, $4,200. Insulation, $1,500. Exterior siding and paint, $3,000. Landscaping supplies, $1, 200 total materials, $31, 800 labor general contractor, $12,000. Plumber, $3,500. Electrician, $6,500. Roofing crew, $5,800. HVAC, installation, $6,000. Painter, $2,000. Landscaping crew, $1, 800 total labor, $37, 600 permits and inspections. City permits, $1,200. Environmental inspection, mold and asbestos, $900. Structural engineer consultation, $1,100. Final inspection fees, $600 total permits and inspections. $3, 800 holding costs. Property taxes, 6 months, $1,500. Utilities, $800. Insurance, $600. Loan interest, $2,400. I took a small renovation loan midway. Total holding costs, $5, $300 miscellaneous. Dumpster rental, $1,000. Security system, temporary, $600. Cleaning crew, $700. Staging for sale, $1, 200 total miscellaneous. $3, 500 grand total. Purchase price, $25,000. Renovation costs, $82,000. Total investment, $107,000. The transformation before and after. After 4 months of chaos, the house was finally done. The living room had fresh paint, new floors, and recessed lighting. The kitchen was modern. White cabinets, quartz countertops, stainless steel appliances. The bathroom was sleek, with subway tiles and a rainfall showerhead. The bedrooms were cozy and bright. The attic was sealed and insulated. The backyard was clean with new grass, a fire pit, and a rebuilt shed. It didn't look like the same house. Neighbors stopped by to compliment the transformation. One even said, "I thought this place was going to be condemned. You brought it back to life." The final reveal, sale and profit. We listed the house for $129,000. Within 2 weeks, we had multiple offers. We accepted one for $125,000. After closing costs, agent fees, and taxes, we walked away with sale price, $125,000. Total costs, $107,000. Net profit, $18,000. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Not just for the money, but for the experience, the lessons, and the satisfaction of turning a disaster into a dream home. Here's what I learned. Budget for the unexpected. Always add 20-30% to your renovation budget. Inspect thoroughly. Don't skip mold, pests, or electrical checks. Work with pros. A good contractor saves time and money. Document everything. Photos, receipts, permits, keep it all. Don't rush. Quality takes time. Rushing leads to mistakes. Know your market. Understand what buyers want in your area. Stay flexible. Plans will change. Be ready to pivot.